Hi, Recovery Jim here, always. I'm just gonna read another just for today. I thought today's was quite poignant. So, 31st of January 2021, Trust, page 31. Just for today, I will have faith in someone in NA who believes in me and wants to help me in my recovery. Basic text, page 93. Learning to trust is a risky proposition. Our past experience as using addicts has taught us that our companions could not be trusted. Most of all, we couldn't trust ourselves. Now that we're in recovery, trust is essential. We need something to hang on to, believe in, and gives us hope in our recovery. For some of us, the first thing we can trust is the words of other members sharing in meetings. We feel the truth in their words. Finding someone we can trust makes it easier to ask for help. And as we grow to trust in recovery, we learn to trust our own. Just for today, I will decide to trust someone. I will act on that trust. Now, when I was first in recovery, let's go back actually. When I was in rehab in Blackpool, when I was getting a detox, there was one person in there, a key worker. His name begins with the letter J. I'm not going to really mention people's names on here, but he was like the first person that I really started to trust. He was in recovery himself. He spoke the truth to me. He kind of, everything he was speaking about actually made sense. And I had a lot of time for him, and I listened to pretty much every single word he said. We got on really well. We're still I would say close. So that was my first kind of foray into trusting people in recovery. But after that, as you've heard, I kind of relapsed massively, and trust went out the window again, because why would I trust people when all I was doing was lying and manipulating people around me? So to trust someone else was like, well, why would I? I can't understand that I should trust people when I wasn't expecting anyone to trust me. Although I was, because I wanted them to believe me in my lies. Although I probably pretty much knew that they weren't believing me. But it was just just the stories I made up, or what I was doing, and no, I'm not drinking, and this, that, and the other. But anyway, getting back to when I got to the Isle of Man, and I met my sponsor. He wasn't my sponsor then, and I met him for the first time, and he told me kind of where his situation was, and where he was coming from, and what he was doing, and I told him, where I was, and what I believed, because I was sober at that point. But pretty soon I was relapsing again, and again the trust had kind of gone, and it wasn't until I didn't really. It was not about trust at that point. I didn't really listen to what he was on about. I just thought, yeah, he's another guy that years and years of recovery doesn't really get me, or whatever. I wasn't relating to him as I did to Jay, and I don't know why, because it's a strange thing, and it obviously was. Still, I wasn't ready to enter into recovery at that point, because it's weird how I didn't relate to his message and story at that point, whereas now he is, my sponsor, and I trust him implicitly. But I'll get to that. So when I was trying to get back into recovery and sobriety, I wanted to build up this trust with my family, but you want it overnight. You want it there and then, and that's an addictive nature. You want everything here and now, and you think, Christ, I've shown them 2 weeks of sobriety. Why don't they trust me? Why don't they believe me? Why are they still watching me? Why am I having to look over my shoulder? And that's just the nature of it. And it does take time. I am still building that trust with my family. But on the flip side of it, to when we start trusting people, well, I came out of hospital, started my meetings, I knew I had to, and that was really the turning point for me. And it wasn't just going to the meetings and seeing my sponsor. At that point, the guy that had told me his story before and I didn't trust, it took a while, but going into the rooms and of NA and actually starting to listen to people's stories, and you start to think, why would they bullshit me? Why would they go into this room, and tell me a bunch of lies, tell the other people in the room a bunch of lies? Why would they do that? So that kind of started playing in my mind, and I was like, okay. So the more I went back and the more I kind of built relationships with these people in the NA rooms, there was only a few of us at the beginning, the more this trust started, and I could see that these guys weren't just there as a thing to do, like a hobby, like something to get out of the house. It wasn't about that. It was like they actually needed to be there, as did I. I got withdrawals from my meetings over a weekend because I didn't have any over the weekend, but face to face, that is, anyway. So I kind of struggled, but the trust of all of those people, it really, really started to build and develop into friendships, into places where, I've spoken about it before. These people, my tribe, have my back way much more than, if any, my friends in the past that I was using and drinking with would have my back. They didn't have my back. And I guess family and loved ones, although you do trust them, but when you're in active addiction, you don't trust anyone. So even though in the back of your mind and your subconscious, yeah, you do trust your loved ones and that, but you just think everyone's out to get you. You think everyone's either trying to stop you drinking or using. They don't really kind of, I suppose, they don't trust anything that you're saying, so why should you trust them? That's kind of the main thing. Again, subconsciously you do, because they're your loved ones and you do love them, but the animal, the devil that's in you, with the alcohol and the drugs, is it stops you. It puts a filter on that trust, and you just think, why should I fucking bother with these people? And that's the nature of it. But getting back to the room, so these people that I've only known for like 5 months, I trust them implicitly. Don't get me wrong. It takes a while for new people to, when they arrive in the groups, in the rooms, to, at first you kind of, and you see people come, and you don't obviously automatically trust them, because some people come and then they don't come back, and that's kind of the nature of the beast. You hope that they will return, and then they will make a conscious decision that this is what they need, and then they will recover, because we do recover in the program, but you have to keep going. And I know people that, I'm hoping tomorrow when we come out of lockdown, there's a few people that will arrive back in the rooms, and they will continue or start their journey again. But for the people that I have built the trust with, and I hope it's reciprocated, but it's a very, very important part of recovery, because if you don't trust, then you don't trust in what they've said when they said we do recover one day at a time, keep coming back, it works if you work it because you're worth it. All of these things, everything in the book, everything in the program, the basic text, the just for today's, all of these things are based on trust, because if you didn't trust them, then you would just walk straight out of the rooms again. And that to me is, I had to make a point in not just on a whim and start trusting someone. I had to see that I could trust them myself, and I had to build that myself. But I suppose I had to surrender myself and accept that I was a hopeless case, and that I needed to, work on myself and work on the program. But it is that simple. It is that simple. You start trusting people in the program, start trusting the program, start trusting yourself again, and it works. There's a lot more things to it, but that's it, plain and simple. Go to the rooms, go to the meetings, and stop killing yourself. you know. And I hope people that are watching these and follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and you know, I hope people can trust what I'm saying is the truth, because it works for me, and it's just suggestions, as I said. But I'm being as honest as I can in this world now, and that's why I'm putting it onto video and putting it onto YouTube and sharing it, because I want to share my experience and the message that's gone before me, because, you know, people that are in recovery didn't get here by chance. They got there because someone else reached out to them, because someone had reached out to them, and so on and so on and so on, all the way back. But anyway, it's Sunday evening. I've had a busy day, kept busy. We're out of lockdown as of 1 minute past midnight tonight. So yeah, 1st of February. I just hope everyone's coping, doing well. If you know someone that's struggling, then, you know, reach out, try and help them. All the usual things, like, subscribe, share, comment. Yeah, you know, I always like a good little discussion to start up. So yeah, please do that. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter. It's all Recovery Gym. And yeah, have a great February. You know, it's we're summer's on its way, so yeah, we're getting through this. All right, right. Love to you all. Peace.